Hey everybody, this is Perch. People sometimes write in to ask me if I want to debunk or talk through certain stories that are going on in comics right now. Is this true? Is this not true? I often give you my opinion. What's weird is I give you my opinion, and people are like, "Okay, well, he has a different source." I'm just giving you my opinion. It could be true, could be not, but I kind of walk you through the logic. So there's a story about Captain America, and by the way, this is I always hate the ones that go, you know, I have a well-placed source who sits in the boardroom at Disney and tells me that everyone hates Captain Marvel. It's like, all right, so that's not how the board meetings work. And if you have a source in the board meeting, then your source is a member of the board or the chief executive officers of the company. Your source is one of those people. It's not like random people just kind of sit in on the board. Like, I mean, I'm picturing like the guy who's like catering. He's bringing in like, the food, and during the board meeting is secretly like taking notes. Like, I'm going to send this off to, you know, uh, cosmic news. I just, I don't know. It's always a little ludicrous to me, but that's not how these meetings work. But anyway, so the one that I got today, it's here's the mail. It says, "Hey Perch, there's a bunch of sites reporting on a rumor that Marvel is going to rehire Chris Evans to be Captain America in order to have him detract America. Detract America? Anyway, says the article says that people at Disney are angry that Captain America has been stolen by conservatives, and they're going to return Chris Evans to the role of Captain America in order to have him specifically distance Captain America for what they consider to be his uncomfortable patriotism facets. Um, and then they cite solid sources who like sat in on top secret planning meetings and other things. Um, okay, so that's the article, then basically, is it true? So um, this is one of those cases where I think there's a lot of these news stories, and people have gotten pretty good at kind of they fish for information and they put it out in such a way that a lot of different scenarios you can kind of back into it being true. So, on the surface, is this story true? I highly doubt it. Is Marvel going, hey, we just put Anthony Mackie in the costume and we're doing all this Captain America stuff with him, and that's, we're behind him as Captain America. But before we even have that movie come out, let's go ahead and abort all those plans, bring Chris Evans back so he could, fight a Trump. Like, that's not terribly logical. Do movie companies do stupid things? Because that's sure people do stupid shit all the time, but this is unlikely. One way this, like, again, you can kind of cross your eyes and how this story could kind of become true, or parts of it can become true, is this. So Marvel's leading up to Secret Wars, or they're going to do another season of What If, and at some point Marvel's going to adapt parts of, or in whole, the Secret Empire story, where Captain America is a Hydra agent, and in it, that person's gonna basically be fascist and evil, and some people at Disney will go, see, this is the Trumpers who are all behind Captain America. They're like the evil Captain America. I mean, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that happening. I feel like at some point Marvel's going to get around to adapting some aspects of Secret Empire, even though it sucked. So I could definitely see that happening. And when that happens, then I see a lot of the people who, wrote articles like that going, see, I told you. See, they brought him back in order to, repudiate MAGA people. Sure. I can definitely see those scenarios occurring. Would Chris Evans be rehired to do that? I mean, he seems happy not being Captain America anymore. So maybe I could. Maybe he lends his voice to it. Maybe they write him a huge check. Maybe they drum it up to him by saying, "Hey, this is a way you support Anthony Mackie and a black Captain America, which Chris Evans has said he definitely supports and wants to lend some weight behind. Would that weight included, filming a movie? Again, I could see him doing a voice acting for a What If episode. I can see, there being a 5-minute segment inside of some multiverse movie where, they briefly meet a evil Chris Evans Captain America, and it's like 5 minutes of screen time total for that somehow. I mean, kind of like the evil Doctor Strange was in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, I think that you could. I think those scenarios are possible. Sure, but I don't think they're going to bring him back. Put him in a movie and do all these things in order to kind of own the right wing. I have a hard time buying that. And the article, by the way, I looked up this article, and there are a few, although they all seem to be going from the same source. I mean, it's written in such a way that it feels like all the articles feel like it's, hey, the woke SJWs are coming after us again. That's the thrust of the article. So, like, for example, reportedly, Kevin Feige was open to doing a project in which both versions of Captain America would come together to somehow repudiate the perceived negative aspects of America while still finding a cause to believe in. The leaders of the MCU reportedly disliked that they did not address the issue before Chris Evans retired as the character. They felt that having an African American version of the character bear such burden alone was unfair. I feel like there's a lot of I don't know. This is a lot of people reading into things, kind of what they want. But again, if you look for the nugget of truth in these articles, would Kevin Feige like Chris Evans to come back and be Captain America again, do a multiverse version where the two Captain Americas fight together? Hell yeah, he'd like that. Of course, he'd like that. I mean, look, if Robert Downey Jr. comes back and goes, you know what, fuck it, I want to do more Iron Man. They're gonna make it. They're gonna find a way. They're not turning away any of this stuff. So, be that as it may. The part of the article that did crack me up. First of all, the source. The source is an individual who circulates in spheres of influence with an executive who circulates in spheres of influence with Marvel. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're hearing comments made during a board meeting, I guess you'd have to be, but. Reports that there are people at Marvel who are uncomfortable with the patriotism facets of Captain Steve Rogers, Captain America. That's kind of old news in the sense that, there have been people who have talked about different Captain Americas and other things, but Marvel's currently printing a comic with Steve Rogers as Captain America. And they've had Steve Rogers, denounce racism and some of the more fascist elements. They've had the character say those things out loud lots of times. So, the idea that people at Marvel are just trying to figure out a way to get rid of this pesky comic, I doubt. No, they're printing a comic now. They're actively making one. It is very easy for Marvel to print the comic and then, basically to have that character say whatever they want. So if the concern is that Captain America is too patriotic, it is very, very simple, and we know this because they've done it multiple times. Ta-Nehisi Coates did this in his recent run. You can have Captain America shit on those aspects in basically 3 months from now, from whenever they put out a comic. So the idea that they're like, oh no, I don't know how we get rid of this Steve Rogers guy. He's a problem. No, come on. That's they just started a new comic with this. That's ridiculous. Anyway, and then it says, this is the quote, "I'm not American, but he says there are those in the United States who thinks the Stars and Stripes are racist or oppressive, and that there are multiple U.S. election cycles coming up, including presidential," the source explained. "These MCU gatekeepers fear that Captain America is being stolen by conservatives." Burbank, my boss says, I'm sorry, the source is fictional. I'm just going to throw that out there. Full stop. My boss says Burbank hates Captain America. He says they totally lose it when they see people wearing Captain America star shirts on television or at Trump events. The regret is not bringing Steve Rogers back in order to have him realize all the problems facing America. I'm sure there's some people who want to tell that story because, again, they've told it in the comics. I will tell you is that Burbank, the place where the licensing department exists for Disney is not going, God damn it, we're so look at all our merchandise that we've sold on people. Like that is not happening. I'm sorry, no, full stop, no. Uh, and look, if Disney didn't want to distance themselves from selling a shirt with a skull on it, they'd be pumping out Punisher shit too, because the licensing department at Disney is relentless for cash. I know the whole woke ideology; they don't want cash. Trust me, the licensing department would basically roll over and sell anything to make cash. That is their entire. That is an amoral group that is one of the greediest bunch of people I've ever met. um, Evans is interested, says the source, keen to work on projects as he loathes the portrayal of Captain America as the America First superhero. Okay, that disagrees with things Chris Evans has repeatedly said in person and in events. He does not. He believes in the Captain America he portrayed, not that it's somehow tainted. Whatever. Look, the conclusion, because if you're gonna do a story like this, you got to bring in Trump somehow. The conclusion to the rumor is that oh no, sorry, let me tell you the plot that's being discovered here. This apparent return could occur in the upcoming Avengers Secret Wars. Yeah, this is where there's some element of truth. They're going to do some multiverse shit, and they're going to have some different versions of people. And if they bring Steve Rogers in to show up, then it's a good way to do a cameo and have a surprise. That's that. Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's a little different than what's being portrayed here, but it says this is where Feige intends to try and bridge the divide between right and left. Oh, Feige's trying to unite the country now? Okay. By having Evans Captain America join forces with Anthony Mackie Captain America to identify what makes America good and what needs to be recognized as flawed. The specific target they will go after would be former President Donald Trump and America First policies. Yeah, no. Anyway, look, again, anything can happen. I will happily eat my words if there is a Captain America's team up to fight Donald Trump movie that comes out. I will absolutely say, yeah. Are there some people in Hollywood who would love to have Captain America beating the shit out of Donald Trump for 2 hours? 100%, absolutely. Does that mean that movie's going to get greenlit? Well, no, it does not. I think there's a better than average chance you're going to see Chris Evans pop up again in a What If episode or one of these kind of cameos in one of the multiverse movies. And will they take the opportunity to have that Steve Rogers like pat Anthony Mackie on the shoulder and go, "You're a better Captain America than I've ever been"? Yeah, sure. I totally can buy that. That's exactly sounds like the kind of stuff they do. Are they then going to team up, beat the shit out of Donald Trump? I mean, I would be laughing my ass off if they did that because it'd be so absurd. But no, I'm willing to stake a bet that won't happen. Anyway, there you go. A lot of rumors like this. It's stuff like I've got an inside source at Disney. It always kind of follows the same kind of Mad Libs template. There's an inside source there. The inside source hates, says that all of Disney hates Republicans and they're plotting a way to do a movie where, the Republicans all drown somehow in they're going to fight Hydro Man, and I don't know what the plot is. They all kind of do the same thing over and over. There was one about Star Wars that a bunch of people sent me and I just ignored months and months ago, where there's going to be a new Star Wars movie and they were going to reveal the Palpatine's mentor was Trump, and then the Star Wars heroes would have to fight a cryogenic Trump and everything. You get to this point where you really here's the thing: if they did arrest Trump and threw him in jail, and then I would hope that however that would happen, it would be like a top secret jail where we just wouldn't hear from him. He would be completely hidden away. And then everyone, the part of the agreement, it's okay, he's going to go to jail, but all of you guys who've been yelling about this for 4 solid years, you all have to shut up now because he's in jail now. He's done. So we're done. We're all done. This is all over. Of course, it would not work that way, but that would, you just wish for this stuff to come to an end. I mean, please, for the love of God, please come to an end. No, I'm not talking about this channel mumbles. Anyway, thanks for listening.